Tempest.
Farjo crawling back, continuing to assert their dominance.
No mercy, had none of it. Sweet tooth.
Final reckoning! The choice that they made was absolutely perfect!
Hello! Welcome back! We're finally here, Raze. I'm so excited to be here for not just the SAC podcast, but also a brand new season of SAC, running into our 9th season. It has been a year since we've done one of these. How are you feeling, Raze?
You know, I mean, it's SAC, so it's always nice to be back, especially with more competition, and getting to talk about teams. Talking about teams is always a great time. Figuring out who's gonna do what, where, when. So it's always a good time.
Before we really rip into it, I do want to take a moment to shout out Ozza and Spleef, who did a fantastic job on our trailer this year, Raze. Coming from outside of our little IPL production circle to bring that together, I just can't get over how fabulous of a job they did.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. So big shout outs to them, and thank you. Like, IPL can't do everything all on its own, contrary to what some people may believe. So having outside help is always important to keep things running smoothly.
Yeah. SAC! Believe it or not, there might be some people who are new to the scene, who have joined in the past year, who don't know what is the Squid Advanced Circuit. Now, Raze, as arguably the grandfather of IPL, SAC, whatever. What do you tell us? Tell the young ones what is SAC.
So the quick explanation for SAC is it is a 4-tournament circuit where we get the teams who are ineligible to play in low ink, and we say, here's your new playground, and then we qualify a bunch of those teams who go play in finals to win it all after like 8 weeks, I guess, of competition. So it's a good time, and then we try to use this podcast to narratively show off some of these teams and the players and the wonderful people who make everything happen to pull back the curtain a little bit.
One of my favorite things about SAC is, where are the teams? Right? I know that's been a question that's been circulating on Splatoon social media of various types for a hot minute, and we have them. We have the teams at SAC.
You need to be careful saying that. I feel like there's a specific brand that might... Okay. My bad.
My bad. And
Sorry.
one of my favorite things about SAC is we get to see these teams come head to head time and time again. Now you may be wondering, SAC, where the heck have you been? It's literally been a year. Like, SAC staff are easily the most cursed staff known to mankind. Everything hits us in the fan. We've been trying to bring back SAC for a while, but we had to make sure that we were able to meet our goals, right? So it's a much more work-intensive tournament than you would think, in terms of addressing how are we going to handle points and qualifiers for finals. We do consider ourselves to be a production-focused event, so, yeah. Who laughed at that?
That was the producer. You can't laugh at the producer laughing. That's not how that works.
But my hopes for the season are that we get to highlight our wonderful upper mid-level teams, that we bring some new faces to light, and that we really get to be creative with the work that we do. When I became head TO, Raze, that was one of my goals for SAC, and personally, I don't feel like I was able to match my own standards last season. And so this season, I'm really looking forward to that. Do you have any particular hopes for this season, other than maybe retirement?
The thing I would really like to see is I want to see people talk about SAC. Because, like, obviously we talk about it on the podcast, some TOs talk about it, the people who run it talk about it, but having the community buy into a tournament is really, really important. Mm-hmm. And when the community buys into a tournament, it brings another layer to the event that we as organizers cannot. Mm-hmm. That's just, it's out of our control, and we can just kind of cross our fingers and hopes, but like, ultimately that's in the hands of the players.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to encourage people to talk about the teams that are playing in SAC. Now, a couple of changes have been made to SAC, right? We're working our way back to the point system from season 6 and prior. This was a huge thing for season 7. In season 7, you would qualify based off of whether or not you made first or second, and then beyond that, there was a 4 wild card slots that were point based. But realistically, one of the big problems with season 7 is we didn't get to see those repeated matchups against teams at the higher level that we come to SAC for, right? Because these teams, they would qualify and then they would be like, Psh, we're not showing up, like we're done here. We'll see you in 6 weeks, you know? And that's such a huge part of SAC.
It also, from a podcast perspective, it hindered the building a narrative a little bit, because the example is, I think the Final Reckoning qualified in the first tournament, and then we basically never saw them again. I'm assuming they were probably playing in other tournaments and stuff like that, but they weren't in SAC, so we couldn't continue to watch them grow throughout the season. And that's one of the things that is really good about this type of format, is watching the teams consistently week after week, letting the viewers become what's the word I'm looking for? The viewers become invested in teams and players, and then they use that investment to move into other tournaments that team plays, when they stream, make tweets, all that fun stuff. So moving to a point-based system kind of encourages that repeat participation week after week, and serves as kind of a pillar of the tournament.
I remember for the SAC commentary doc, there's this table that we have underneath each team, right? And it shows their placements in each qualifier, and then the score line that they had against each team that they faced in that qualifier. And we would highlight repeat matches, so that way if we got a chance to stream those again, we would. But when the teams that people are interested in seeing, the teams that win, the teams that get people excited, stop showing up after a qualifier, after they qualify for finals, it's such a buzzkill. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the point system. I know that we, in the upper mid-level section, have a lot more pickups these days. And so there is some nuance here, because this is a circuit and you are playing for points. So Ellie, could you be so kind as to show the fruit?
The fruit.
I worked hard on this, okay? Graphic design is my passion. Okay, so what this is this is how not to mess up your roster TM by Skepidillions. SAC is a circuit, which means that our competitors will be playing across multiple qualifiers to earn points that qualify them for finals. In order for your roster to count as the same throughout the season, it has to be named the same things. If I am playing guessing games with your roster, I'm moving on. I'm just not playing those games this season. And all of our other TOs agree. So one of the really important things about if you're running a 4-person roster, your team needs to be named consistently throughout the season. And then 3 out of 4 of your members need to be consistent. And this is for a 4/5 person roster. If you have 5 people on your roster, you still need a stable 3. If you have 6 people on your roster, you need a stable 4. We're not doing any rosters greater than 6, so have your bearings ready to go. And this little example is Qualifier 1, a team shows up with watermelon, banana, orange, and apple. And Qualifier 2, they have watermelon, banana, orange, and bell pepper. And it's really just, they swapped apple for bell pepper. Apple couldn't make it. That's the same roster. But the other group has watermelon, banana, orange, and apple. And Qualifier 2, watermelon, banana, but oops, we have bell pepper and carrot. That is not the same roster, because 3 of the members aren't the same. Now, how do you avoid these issues altogether? Just have your 6 players, if you're playing with 6 players, on your roster from day 1, no questions asked.
So,
Oh.
TLDR, moral of the story, if you think you're going to need more than 4 people over the course of the season, get them together early. Save everyone the headache. Just get them together early.
Right.
All right.
No.
Well, go ahead.
No, Raze!
I was going to say, I kind of want to pivot because the thing that's the most interesting to me about kind of the update that came this season is the eligibility update.
We disagreed on this last season. And you
Yes.
were right.
Well, was I? I don't remember the stats I took last season because it was a year ago.
Go ahead.
So this season, the biggest update, Division 1 Ludi teams are now eligible to play in SAC. Meaning, last season, an unfortunate situation happened where Ludi happened right after Qualifier 1, so that divisions came out and a couple of fan favorites became ineligible to compete in SAC because their division was too high.
Right, you can drop names because we have clips.
I could drop names. Do I really want to drop names?
I'm gonna drop names.
Drop names. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the most heartbreaking moments of season 8, right, is we're doing our little wizardry behind the scenes. We're preparing for Qualifier 1, and there's a couple of teams where we're like, because Div 2 was the cutoff last season, right?
Correct.
And so there were a couple of teams where we would ask, like, staff talk, whatever, hey, is such and such team going to be ineligible? We didn't ask what their division was. We asked, like, are they going to be eligible in 2 weeks? And there were 2 teams where we got an answer that was no. They are not going to be eligible in 2 weeks. And those 2 teams were Octopi and Velocity, right? And what was so heartbreaking about this was, unfortunately, Octopi had a bad run in their group stage, and they ended up second out of their group. Because there were 8 groups, there was some bracket math that ended up that they would end up facing Velocity round 1 of winners of Top Cut, right? Not gonna get too much in the bracket math, but that was the reality of the situation. And that sucked, because that was supposed to be our grand finals match.
Yeah, but the cookie crumbled the wrong way, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened in bracket round 1, and now it's not going to happen again because the eligibility rules have changed to allow Division 1 teams in, which,
right.
More teams, better competition, better tournament, better stream, better
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah, it was, we realized it was a mistake as it was happening, right? And we just had to, like, cross our fingers that they would be grandfathered in by making it to second through a loser's bracket run, and it just didn't happen. And that's okay, that happens, right? That doesn't make them any less worthy of a team. But we had to watch one team become ineligible because of Ludi, while peers at their level were still able to play in finals, and that was such a heartbreaking moment. And we definitely learned from that outcome. And one of the largest pieces of feedback that we had from season 8 was, hey, Div 1 should be eligible. Yeah.
Yep. And now we listened, and they are eligible.
We do listen most of the time, I promise. And sometimes we do listen, but there's a reason why we can't take action. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone taking their time to take their feedback, because we definitely saw what was happening as it was happening, and we're like, we have something really exciting, right, Reyes?
We have something super, super exciting. So today, we're joined by 2 special guests. Later in the podcast, we'll be joined by Risu, or 2 former winners. Let me be specific. Risu, who won Season 8 with the Final Reckoning, team I mentioned earlier, and then After that, Hermit is going to be joining us, who won Season 7 with Sweet Tooth. So we're going to be talking to them, and it's going to be great and exciting.
All right, Risu, you here? Knock knock. Hey, okay.
Hello.
So you are Risu.
I am.
One of the
I hope so.
winners with the final reckoning from SAC Season 8. Why don't you introduce yourself?
So yeah, that sums it up pretty well. I think I kind of peaked a year ago. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure that's not true. Maybe it's Splatoon.
Oh
But-
yeah, it's the okay.
Yeah, put the little asterisk there. Let's not
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
short. Let's not sell yourself short.
It's not that bad.
So I think that kind of brings up the question: what have you been doing for the past year? If you don't mind us asking and prying a little bit.
Well, I've been playing a bit of Splatoon. I think that's kind of like, I think people figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, studying, just hanging out with friends. I think kind of enjoying last year of being a teenager. It's been pretty.
Aww.
But yeah, no, it's been good. Life's good. I can't complain.
That's as always great to hear. That is always great to hear. So
Yeah.
we mentioned that you won Season 8 with a Final Reckoning. How was that? What was that experience like? How did that make you feel?
Bro, just talking about it makes me miss it, man. It was so good. I can't lie. I've been on one team, and that was the best team ever. I said it. I said when it disbanded, this is as good as like being on a team gets, and I don't know. It was awesome. I miss it.
Mhm.
But yeah, SAC just like as a whole, I still like watch the VOD, bro.
You
Like-
reminisce.
Just some of it, just watching like that, winning the first qualifier from like seed 19 or whatever. Just so many good memories just come back. It's such a wonderful experience.
I bet it had to feel so vindicating to get seeded 19th and then win that tournament. Like, I imagine that just felt incredible to just like what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I can't remember it. I know exactly what I want to say, but I don't have the words to say it.
I feel that.
To prove the haters wrong, I think. Just go.
Our
"You know what?
seeding team are not haters.
Hey,
Hey, I mean, to be fair, I literally I remember that week because it was like Super Jump the week before, right? I think so.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that, and we just got like, we just got bullied in like some random bracket. I can't even remember what it was. So like expectations were low, to say the least.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, yeah, that like low to that high was insane. Like, I don't know.
I feel like when expectations are the lowest, everyone performs the best because they don't have to worry about people judging them. They can just play the game they want to play. Would you kind of agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's nice, like it's nice to have eyes on you, but not like expectations. I think that's when pressure starts to build.
It's nice to show off, but not necessarily have to worry about being judged.
Yeah.
Now, the Final Reckoning had such an interesting run in Season 8. You qualified by defeating Velocity in Qualifier 1 and then sat on your hands for the rest of the season. I remember Ray's and I talking about on the podcast last season about whether or not you were going to grow cold compared to the rest of the competition. And there were some close sets in finals, but like you guys held on, clawed on the victory. Do you believe that the Final Reckoning was just simply a tier above the rest of the competition that year?
The Risu part of me wants to say yes, but I honestly I was not, because we had Velocity round 2 in the bracket. I wasn't like, I was sort of worried. but I don't know, something clicked. Like we had that. There was something special about our comp and the way we just sort of frontline, and it would just work. Like, and it did, and it just like there were patches where it didn't, and it worked in qualifier 1, and it worked in finals, and like that was when it mattered. That was all. That was the only times we needed it to work.
Yeah. So you said there were patches where it didn't work. So when you were scrimming between qualifier 1 and finals, was it not working as well? Was there any doubt there when you were going into finals? Like,
we were sort of like testing around different comps because like back then they were adding the new Stamper, like the one that got Crab, and like even though now it's seen as like a mid-tier sort of like, you know, it's not seen as that strong, but we were expecting it to be like holy, like broken weapon, broken special, hello, like this is gonna run the whole tournament, but nah. So I think we kind of messed around with that. It didn't go so well, but yeah, we went back to Wiper instead of Stamper, playing like double front line, all on our comfort weapons, and it rest is history.
And you definitely did make history. At least in SAC, you secured that top spot on your comfort picks.
Yeah. Against some other off-meta teams, too. Like Healthy Diet Food Groups and Unlimited Woomy United, right?
Yeah, I remember those comps. They were like... Uwu's comp... I don't even remember. I just remember being... Because we were like ahead of schedule, so we had time to like tune into the stream, like see what our opponents like. Bro, we couldn't believe what we're seeing, like Aerospray, Carbon.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
Their entire comp hinges on that Aerospray to keep paint down. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, just
Though, speaking of your former teammates, what are they up to these days?
I think COD's interest was sort of in the game was sort of dying, like around SAC time, because they're Random and COD. Okay, I got them mixed up. Like, but they're both uni students. They're both third year now. I think they were going into second year, which in the UK is like a bit of a jump from first year. So I've heard. So they were like, you know, getting ready to like lock into academic year and all that. So I think interest was sort of dying there. So COD left. Well, they didn't leave, but they sort of stopped playing after SAC ended. And then Random sort of held on. I don't know if you guys know of Never Back Down, Never What, but
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
Random was a pretty core part of that. And Proto's my go-to. That's my like whoever I'm like. I don't know if you're gonna play a pickup and there's one person you want on your team. That one person is Proto for me.
Oh, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I'm blessed to still have him around.
Yeah, having that one teammate who you can just constantly rely on just makes pickups so much better.
It's so good. I can't lie. It makes it feel like it's a team again. Like, you know, there's still like
just
you
that
sort
little
of still know them. It's not just a group of random people. It makes pickups like it means like there's less pressure to perform well, and you just want to win for your friend, which is just so much of a motivator.
Resoon Proto +2 versus the world.
Exactly.
I keep an eye on our competitors. Surprise. And with you, you've become a bit of a leader in our mid-level scene, creating what is known as We Are Not +4, but everyone calls it +4. What are your goals there? What was your inspiration?
+4 is old. I can't lie. +4. I made it a year ago because in Europe, I think it's always been like a known issue in Europe is finding pickups. Like there's low level Europe's always like sort of been alive-ish. There's always been people sort of wanting to play comp, but then there was like a gap. As soon as you hit like low ink band stage, so many teams just like quit and so many players like stopped playing. There was just such a sort of like just drought in people to play with. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna invite a few people I know are good, tell them to invite people they know are good, sort of rely on them to invite like, you know, people that they can vouch for and who've played with. And then there was sort of that knock-on effect, and then, you know, eventually we sort of put like a mini application thing that wasn't meant to be that serious, but yeah,
It turned into something serious.
That's where it always goes.
It turned into it, but that was not my intention. It's literally just to keep like
I mean, it
I
keeps
feel
the
like
server
they're a bit
active.
picky about it nowadays, but like to me it was just like having a couple like bad apples in like the server can kind of kill it,
Mhm.
because you don't really want that person like hyper responding to like everything. It's just a bit awkward.
Yeah, because then you have to constantly dodge that person, and it just the server becomes less and less active.
I get it. Like you run +4, I run mid queue, and we also have a very strict skill floor, right?
mean-
And it, sorry.
No. It's like I haven't run it for a while, like, but it's more like Tame and Polly right now. They're sort of doing it, but yeah. No, I think you're probably in a better position to comment than me, to be fair.
Yeah, people go to those type of servers to find teammates that they feel are equals, and if they play a pickup in a server like that and then things just completely bomb and toss, they're like a lot less likely to use that server, that pickup environment in the future, and that kind of kills it.
Yeah, like that is exactly what happened, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then I was sort of like, when that sort of happened, I was like getting into +3,
Mhm.
so I sort of had options, especially with Never Back Down around that time. So the server kind of died, but then Tame and Polly were like struggling to find pickups. I can't remember. I think we were playing like Senduki or something, or we were just chilling, and I was like, oh, I have this server. You guys want to like try again? Because it worked really well last time, and yeah, they've done a brilliant job. They're doing really well.
Mhm. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Praise.
Oh, it's my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
We're learning. We've never interviewed people on the podcast before. Please cut us some slack.
I've never been interviewed on a podcast before. So we're all learning.
Yeah. Okay. The question. You won last season. New season coming up. What's the advice you would give to the teams who want to compete or make it to finals? What's the one thing, that nugget of wisdom, that thing you want to pass on? Make sure that no one forgets.
There's so much, bro. I've been playing. Okay, I'll try like.
You can just start talking, and if we need to cut you off, I'll cut you off. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just start yapping. Go for it.
You might have to take yourself up on that, but like SAC, I've sort of treated like sort of eras in my like comp platoon, like just in blocks. So SAC season 6, like literally the second tournament I ever entered, like bit clueless, but I think I was like low level, nearly low ink band. So that was like just learning about the game, which probably wasn't the best place, but I didn't care. I just wanted to play because this game was so fun. Like when I was starting out, and I still find it fun, for the record, even though people don't. But then 7 was low level band, beating like +3 teams and all that, like getting better, sort of building a reputation, even though that might not have been the best at the time. But that's another story for another day. And then like season 8 was like, okay, we want to make finals, but then we did more than make finals. Like that was literally all we wanted. We literally came into that season just wanting like finals. That's like cool. Winning the whole thing is still surreal, bro. I still can't like. I still sort of can't really believe that we managed to do that. It was crazy. But like, just yeah, okay. So hold on, back on topic. Just look at before who you are before SAC, and then try stick with the team. Try practice, get a schedule going, stick with that team for SAC, and then look at who you are after SAC, and then go from there. And if you've like put in work, you will see a difference.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But yeah, that's I'll probably leave it there. But yeah.
Yeah. So treat SAC like it's like a training plan.
Yeah.
Where at the beginning of the season, make the plan, stick to the plan, and at the end of the season, evaluate it, see where you end up. And
exactly. And it's SAC, like there's people watching. Like obviously people want to get recognized. You know, people want to be seen. And there's no better place to do it, in my opinion. Like,
it's your anime training arc.
yeah,
sure.
If you treat it like if you do that, if you treat it as an experience to learn and lower your expectations, then you're much less likely to crack under the pressure, I think. So I think that's some good advice.
Yeah, no expectations. Yeah, that is important. As soon as you like, I sort of fell into that trap with weeklies, just wanting to win them, and that's just not. You can't play the game like that. It's so demotivating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, if you're still in touch with the mid-level scene, which I hope that you are, what team or individual are you looking at this season? Who excites you? Who's the future?
I saw Facade sign up and I was like, bro, why? Okay, Lexi. I saw your little help desk thing with Lexi. I was like, there's no way. I feel like Lexi's gonna find that group that's gonna win. That's who my money's on. But like, I feel like there's like those sort of Div 1 playoff, like high Div 1 playoff players that are just gonna like go crazy. And I'm
Div
all
1
for
is
it.
eligible. Also,
Yeah,
I don't see them signed up right now, so.
Oh, are they not? Did they?
I think they are not here right now because they were here earlier.
Maybe not. I think Tempest could have a good run as well. They're sort of like to me, I think any team that's like willing to put in work could like win it, except like if like members of Facade are allowed to play. I feel like they might walk away with it, but
You think anybody could keep up with them?
I mean, when you're getting like 5th in Super Jump and everyone thinks you're the best team in like upcoming team, it's pretty hard not to back them. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, well,
but we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see. Do you know what? Prove me wrong, please. Like, I hope I'm wrong, but
all right.
I know they're really good, so we'll see.
Do you have any final notes before we find our second guest?
Honestly, I never got to at the time, but thank you guys so much. Like, this never meant like low ink was cool because it, you know, you kind of had to play low ink if you want to progress. But like SAC, like this was the one tourney that I was like, okay, I won that SAC badge one day, and finally getting it was it was so cool. And just like the amount of like progress I've made as a player through the seasons, like I mentioned earlier, it's just the perfect place. Like this environment it's perfect. It's what like upcoming players need. Like I don't know, I think it was in season 7, was it Sungura? I think it was Sungura. That they played an SAC, people saw it, they were like, oh my god, this person's like some like charger demon. And then and like 2 months later they're at the top of the scene, and it's like, wow, like SAC really did all that.
Fun fact, kind of in that line, Bagel got his start in SAC 2 as a mini player in like season like 2 or 3, I think.
Bagel,
yeah.
wait, Who's? Oh, Starburst! Oh, wait, no.
I can't believe Bagel just got Omega lulled.
No, I was not expecting that high. Jesus. Okay. No, I do know who Starburst Bagel is. They
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Hopefully that proves no. Okay, that's
maybe-
that's ridiculous.
Maybe you'll be in Bagel's spot in a couple years.
I don't know. But that's okay. That's mind blank. Okay, no, I do know.
No,
the
I
game.
get you. It happens to be all the time.
I was expecting like you know, but I didn't even know when Bagel started playing the game. That's why I'm confused. Is like
Bagel's been around for a long time.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know that about SAC and Bagel either. That's way before my time.
Yeah, like I haven't played. I knew nothing about this game until S3. So, like,
Wow.
that's as far as my knowledge goes.
Thank you for the kind words about SAC. I know me and Toma and all of our staff, as new Elemental, believe that SAC is a special tournament, and we really fought to bring it back. So I really appreciate you saying that. It means the world to me.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie about that. Like when I say that, I genuinely mean it.
Yeah.
So that's important. Bring it back, because it's just so good. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, no, that's all I have to say. Thank you for
Well,
having me. It's been nice to go back, reminisce.
a little bit, yeah. All right, we will be taking a very short intermission, so that way we can switch to our second guest of the night, Hermit Crab. So stay here. Literally, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I promised it wouldn't be long.
Yeah, promises made, promises kept. It wasn't long, and we're back.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'm really excited to introduce a close friend of mine, actually, Hermit. We used to be scrim buddies back in low level, and then a homie went one day and won low ink, and then a homie went one day and won SAC, and then showed up in my DMs a year later and was like, "Hey, we should play the game sometime." And since then, we've been good friends. So, Hermit, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be here. You know, I get to talk about everything, and you know, Splatoon is my favorite. Used to be, at least.
Yeah. Why don't you
Still love
introduce
it.
yourself to the people?
I'm Hermit. You might know me probably. I'm an ink brush player. At least I like to say that. You know, sometimes. Other times I play support, whatnot. Shooters. You know, played for a couple years. 2021, late 2021 to pretty much last summer. I played comp, you know, pretty much every day. Nowadays, you know, maybe I'll hop on once a week. Not so much anymore. Play a tournament here and there, but you know, still have fun with the game sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, life happens. You can't play every day. Playing every day is a lot. So
Playing every day,
long.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since your SAC run, even longer than Risu's, which was last year. Your SAC run, I believe, was a year and a half ago, because I was moving during it. I remember. What have you been up to since, and how are your former teammates doing?
You know, been, you know, going to college now. You know, life's been moving on for me. You know, so I got less time to play the game and video games in general, but you know, it's been good. And all my teammates, we still talk on occasion, and you know, we get along and whatnot. From Sweet Tooth, we talk. And you know, sometimes I try to pry Keto away from life to come play open with me, but that doesn't usually happen, unfortunately. We're basically all retired now except for Junkie. I know he just started a new project like yesterday, or at least announced it. So that's been good. For me, I mean, you know, been going to school now, but I was, you know, having a run with Denny's for a while there, and you know, that was fun. You know, we won a couple tournaments. It was more
Branding
casual.
was pretty impeccable.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Same with Sweet Tooth, but you know, we were playing to have fun, and that was just awesome. I got to play Ink Brush again and everything. So
yeah, I'm sure the other team didn't like playing against Straight Brush. Like, you had fun, but I don't think anyone else in the other team did, because playing
That's
against
true.
good ink brushes is so annoying. It's like trying to swat a fly without a fly swatter. So
that's a pretty good analogy.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because during SAC Season 7, you actually weren't on Ink Brush because you had Junkie on Brush, right? You were playing primarily Neo Splash and later Zap. Tell us about that.
Well, start off with Neo Splash, because the meta when Sweet Tooth first started, it was a lot of, you know, taking control of space, because the meta when we started was ballpoint, and like the QR meta that we had was like Wiper and, you know, ballpoint and like Tetras for a bit, and so we needed a weapon that could just paint and get space for everybody. So that's when I started off on End Splash, and I really love End Splash. I truthfully hate Zap. Like, I do not enjoy playing Zap. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I just it's not what I like. And I don't know why. I think I've just been playing it for so long. Like, I started off playing it. So, you know, we started off with End Splash, and then, you know, the team sort of starts off with like we know like we were all like one tricks basically. At least Junkie and like Day were both, you know, not in brush, right? And then like we were trying to figure out what do me and Keto play, right? And it's like, okay, we need like paint, you know, we need specials. So then I played End Splash, and then Keto, you know, he played Viper Deco. And let's just say opponents didn't really like that, especially when also facing up against an Octobrush and a Nautilus. But I would like to say like it was like that was so off meta, and like we tried for so long to make it work. And like SAC was like the first time that like we really like broke through and like won and made it work just over and over again. And like I was so happy with that. Like it seriously was like just all the hard work paying off, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comp sounds like so much fun to play.
Oh,
Because,
it was
like,
awesome.
I'm also an End Splash enjoyer. I think it's like the best support weapon. I think it's been the best support weapon for a while. So like, and then hearing Viper Deco is another weapon that I have a soft spot for. So like, watching you guys win with that was amazing, because like it validated me a lot. It's like I know what's going on. I swear.
Oh, that's good, man. I wish we could have made it work in the finals as well. I guess we can talk about that after, but my decision to switch to Zap was certainly a story. But yeah, I mean, the formation of the team was like, it was kind of just like, it was kind of out of nowhere. Like I knew like we had this sort of idea to like make it happen, but you know, like Legato just sort of fell apart, unfortunately. And you know, there's like a bunch of stuff with that. I'm not gonna get into it, but you know, and then you know we were like, one day I messaged Junkie and I was like, yo, we should play together. You know, I used to, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I used to coach Junkie. Like I was like, I don't know, probably like Div 3. I was on Espresso, and he was in like low level, and I used to coach him. I coached him all the way from like, I don't know, like Div 8 to pretty much then, and he
To
went
winning
up from,
SOS this week.
yeah, well, I'll give you a second, something like that. But yeah, I mean, he truthfully went up like 7 divs in like a half a year, pretty much.
That's
it was
incredible.
insane. Yeah, and
Now-
A little bit of guidance goes a long way.
Yeah.
it certainly does. It certainly does.
And
Fortunately,
now-
with Ink Rush, there's not much, but
Sweet Tooth had one heck of a losers bracket run. Not only did you qualify through points, so practically nobody had heard of you, right? You hadn't won a qualifier, right? First question is, what was it like going from being a team no one had heard of, there hadn't been much of a spotlight on you guys, to just winning?
I think it was. See, we knew, like, we weren't known, but we knew we had what it took. Like we had like the formula down. I feel like we had truthfully just a way that we played the game and won. I know it's kind of hard to explain, but part of what I thought was I realized, like, I'm gonna brag a little bit.
Do it.
Do it, that's what we're here for.
I realized at a certain point that like we just on offense, when we were pushing, we could not be stopped. So I literally at one point, I remember I said to the rest of the team, like, we just don't get KO'd and we win the game. Like every time, I knew that's what was gonna happen. And like I just said, like, we just, like, it doesn't matter how many points they get, we just don't get KO'd, and we have a chance to win the game. And I feel like that was part of it. Like certainly having that sort of mindset, like, you know, bend but don't break, I guess you could say. You know, and we started off the tournament pretty well. I think we started off like a couple 3-1s or something. And then yeah, Octopi, that was definitely, like, you know, the biggest challenge we had. Because the End Splash just didn't work against them. guess I'm getting ahead of myself.
Don't worry about getting ahead of yourself. You could just
keep
talk.
going.
Yeah, we're just here to talk.
It's true. So the end splash didn't work against them, but I made the sort of switch mid set. I was like, all right, we're gonna try Zap because Potato is really fucking good at the game. And he just, am I allowed to swear? I'm sorry.
No.
PG-13. You got one.
PG-13.
There was your one. You're
Okay.
good.
So he's really good, right? And so I was like, we gotta get back into the, we gotta respawn quicker, right? So I was like, all right, guys, we gotta do QR, or cooler rather. So I switched to Zap, and I put on a costume. Let's just say we need some special charge up. So I put on the chicken costume, which had no sub abilities on it, by the way. I just wanted the special charge. And I didn't need a shirt because I needed come back and stealth jump or whatever. So I put on that and just painted for coolers the whole time. And that's what we figured out what we had to do. We didn't get demotivated at all. We stayed confident the whole time. We knew we had the ability to win. And I think that's a really big thing is you gotta keep your eyes on winning. Exactly. You can slip up here and there, but you gotta win.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, running a shirt with no sub abilities, it feels so BM just to do that to an opponent. You know what?
A little bit.
I know my team is better than you. I just need cooler. I don't need anything else. I just need the drinks, and that's all it takes.
That's what we needed.
Yeah, it's just it's so funny to me because it worked.
It did.
It did.
Oh.
There's a little part of my brain that wants to believe that Octopi saw that and was like, "Ain't no way."
I mean, maybe they did. I don't know.
We'll never know until we get someone from Octopi on to talk about it.
Ooh. Anyway, Sweet Tooth had one heck of a loser's run, right? Octopi took you 3-2 in winners bracket semis. And then from there, you went 2-0 over Velocity, 2-0 over Rabid, 3-0 over Frostbite, right? And I know that we might not recognize some of these teams today if you're new to Splatoon, but these were buzzsaw teams at the time. If these were in your pool, you were like, ugh, we're counting that set out, right? Rematching into Octopi in the grand finals, what was going through your head that ended up resulting into those incredibly hyped 3-1, 3-0 score lines?
It was a lot. I think that was probably the most emotionally tolling sort of tournament for me, and probably for the team too. I mean, I'm not a mind reader, but personally, I wasn't necessarily nervous. I was more I guess anxious. I don't know. It was I feel I don't I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I feel I can sort of control what's gonna happen, but I don't know if it's actually gonna result in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it sort of felt like at the final sort of set there in the grand finals, because I knew what I was gonna do, NZAP or Splash, or NZAP or Splash. I don't know if the NZAP was gonna work, but I knew the Splash probably wasn't gonna either, because we lost to them. So I was sort of I was worried, because I was man, if we lose, this is on me. We're gonna that's on me mainly.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily it worked out, and that was really relieving, because that was that was just an awesome tourney run. Like I had so much fun during that. And like that like the moment of just like us winning was just such a relief. And you know, definitely like the losers run gave me a lot of confidence. I don't remember if I played Splash or Zap during those losers games, but it's probably Splash, if I'm being honest. But which makes it even worse because at the end there, I was like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work, you know. And if it doesn't, then we're all out of ideas, you know. We're gonna have to move on to the next one, but you know,
Gonna have to pull something out of the magic bag of tricks right at the end.
exactly. We just came up with that. We were like, man, we just gotta run cooler, I guess, you know.
So, okay, do you think losing the first set to Octopi set you up to win finals? Like, do you think if the role was reversed and you beat Octopi in the first match and went to grand finals on winner's side, do you think you could have beaten them again if they were coming off the hot losers run streak that you went on?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's tough. I don't know, because I think we would have won 3-2 in the first set. So I think we might have stuck with the end splash for the whole rest of the thing. So I think it would have been very close. Like the grand finals, we would have had the advantage though. So I think maybe they would have won the first time, and then we would have built our momentum sort of back up for the second, the bracket reset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it definitely could have been different, because the loss really set us, like put into our heads that like this is not going to work against them, right? Like we knew that, and I think that it might have been different.
Because I think losers runs, like long losers runs, are really good for teams because you build up a lot of hype and momentum behind you. So, and that team waiting in winners finals or in grand finals kind of gets iced. So I was curious to hear your thoughts on if you thought that would have changed it. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, I don't remember in low ink if I went to losers. I don't remember, but I might have. I don't know. I can't really remember. But we definitely were on like a winning streak. Like that was from like, I think we did go into losers. We were definitely on like a winning streak, and that winning streak in losers really, it does help. It helps a lot, especially if you go against the same team again. You know, it's hard to beat the same team twice. It's, you know, once we sort of had them like, you know, figured out, it became, you know, pretty much impossible for them to win.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was hoping Ray's would pick up the question because I'm sorry.
Hey, I just asked a question. I just came up with it on the
you're
fly.
so on God. I'm realizing now that I'm asking the pre-written questions and you're filling some juicy tidbits based off the answers. We're friends. So I know that you've stepped away from Splatoon for the most part, right?
Yeah.
I don't imagine that's an easy decision to come to. Especially after having been playing for so long, like since S1, if I remember correctly. If you had a piece of your soul to give to the scene, what would it be?
There's a few different things. I think the number one thing that like I learned from this whole experience, especially with being captain of Croutons for I don't know, like a few months there. The biggest thing to remember if you're trying to like have a team and make it work and just like consistently like have that team, there's gonna be ups and downs. Like there's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be problems. There's gonna be situations that they aren't gonna be fun. They're gonna be stressful. You guys are gonna maybe, you know, have a bad losing streak of tournaments. But I think like the number one thing that you got to remember as like a team mindset is that time is a solution to like everything. like there's some problems that just don't get solved unless like a certain amount of time has passed. And sometimes that time is going to be, maybe it'll be a week, maybe it'll be a few months, but you have to wait out that time sometimes. And you got to remember the downs are going to be temporary. If you guys keep working and keep scrimming and whatnot, you're gonna be back up there. And I guess that leads into like there's always a way to improve. There's always a way like up, and you gotta have the mindset. The mindset's like super important. The game is it's basically just all mental. And if you have the mindset that you're going to be, good, if you're going to be great, then you're going to eventually reach that. The only way you're going to fail is if you stop, you give up. And, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that passion. Eventually, the passion might go away. And, it did for me. I mean, that's when you stop. Is when the burnout sort of hits. You're like, okay, I think it's a good time to stop. You'll know when that time is. Make sure to have fun. Absolutely have fun. On Denny's we made crazy graphics that were really awesome. I didn't make any of those, but shout outs to Gray and Typlo for making all of those. Because those were great. Sweet Tooth as well. We did some of that. And that's have fun. We're playing a video game. We're not. This ain't like this ain't the workplace. We're having fun here.
Nobody makes enough money in this scene to not have fun.
There's not enough money to go around with everything. And I guess one last thing that I have to say about that is play the weapon that you want. When I first started on Inkbrush, I truthfully had no idea what I was doing. I had never even played Inkbrush casually before that. And one day I literally just said to Tayu, I was literally just like, yo, I'm gonna play Inkbrush. And I just played it. I just started scrimming with it and whatnot, and it was a rough time at first. I didn't do too great for a bit, but like, it's Inkbrush. Nobody ever thinks this thing is like that good. And then, like, I mean, it's a good weapon. I certainly argued with some people about how good it was, because it was very good at the beginning of S3. Like, people didn't realize that, I don't think. Now, not so much. It's not very great anymore, unfortunately. But
yeah, it's competing with a lot of weapons for the same type of slot. Like, I think Splatana. It's competing with like Stamper and stuff in that same sort of role, and it's never gonna beat Stamper in that role.
I mean, back when there was only Splash and Machine around, I mean, you just had more mobility than a Machine, and you'd just be able to beat Splash at that close range. So back then, I mean, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah. I genuinely think it was like the third best weapon, and nobody realized it. But just keep playing it. It's just have fun. Like, don't feel forced to do something. Now, if you're on a team and you want to win, right? Like, if you're just playing for fun and you don't really care, if winning is not like super fun to you, winning was fun for me. Having fun's also fun, but I liked winning a lot, right? so that's why on Sweet Tooth I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Splash, because I mean, obviously Inkbrush isn't gonna work with that, And so if you're part of a team, sometimes sacrifices have to be made if you want to win. But otherwise, if you guys aren't like trying to reach, the top or whatever, if that's not your goal, then you should just have fun. You should just have fun.
Hey, well, regarding this season, are you keeping an eye on anybody? Is there any team that's like, all right, I'll tap in to the SAC stream to watch these guys?
I was looking yesterday, and even just I'm looking right now actually too. I was looking and I was like, honestly, I don't really know many of these people, if I'm being honest.
That's real.
I will talk about a few teams, I guess. And a few players, I guess. If Typhlo makes a team, watch out for Typhlo's team. I don't think. Yeah, for real. I don't know. I don't think Gray or Kubi are gonna play. I know they were talking about it, and I was like, all right, guys, I can't play. Sorry, because But if he decides to make a team or play with the pickup or whatever, keep an eye out for him, and whatever alias he uses, because it's not going to be Typhlo.
That's not allowed. That's not allowed.
That's not allowed. That's not allowed. All right, well then,
That's not
I don't
allowed.
know. He does in other tourneys.
I know.
Well, in Ludi, his name was I Love Ludi. I know that. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. So I guess he will be Typhlo, probably. I can't hold his actions accountable to me. Masa, I think he's still allowed to play, right?
Yeah.
Inkrush, I coached him for a bit. He's awesome. He's great.
Great
if he
guy.
plays, yeah, keep an eye out for him. I don't think he's on a team right now, though. TIF, this is fine. I coached them, used to. They're more of a low-level team. I don't know if they're going to play. They probably won't, but keep an eye out for them soon. They're pretty good. The new Junkie project, I know he just made that team. I know some of his teammates are playing on a team called Bugs Under a Rock. So watch out for that team. I guess if I was to predict a team to win, it'd be them, because they are actually pretty darn good. I was playing with them the other day, and they were pretty good, so I think they'll make some noise.
It sounds like you've coached a bunch of teams.
I have coached a lot of teams.
You just
and players.
Going everywhere, giving advice to everyone.
It's a long list. I genuinely think I might have coached like maybe like 15 people total. I honestly, I've lost track.
That's a fair amount.
Mainly Inkbrush players, and teams of Inkbrushes.
I mean, that does sound like your area of expertise. So
I do try my best with that.
For regarding SAC Season 9, do you have any advice for people about to start their circuit tomorrow?
I guess I'll talk about the ups and downs again. Ups and downs are, they're gonna happen. But like, remember, at the end of the day, the end of the journey is gonna be worth it. And enjoy the journey that you guys have as a team. And I'll say an important thing is callouts, and I guess communication in general. When I talk to a player, or when I watch a player, I pay attention to their callouts the most. The reason why I do that is because, well, one, they're important for everyone, but two, callouts are 100% effort. Like, if you care, you're gonna make good callouts, right? I mean, there's a skill to it, of course, but if you're making good callouts, that shows to me that like you have the effort and the mindset to want to win. So I think callouts are important, and communication, the callouts are gonna build a good mindset for you and the team. And communication outside the game as well. Have fun outside the game, and talk with each other outside the game. That connection that you have with your teammates is gonna bring up the fun. It's gonna bring up the passion that you guys have for the game, and you guys are gonna enjoy playing the game with each other rather than feeling like it's a chore to get on the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Hermit.
Thank you. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, it's been lovely, and I know I'll see you around.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me at HermitCrab26 on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it now, I guess. Everywhere else, yeah, hopefully Elon ain't watching this. I can, what else? You can DM me on Discord anytime. If you're an Inkbrush player, just hit me up. I can give you, tips or VOD review for you if you want. What else? Follow my Twitch. I'm not going to stream on it, probably ever again until I get a new capture card at least. But follow my Twitch at HermitCrab02. That's
Real.
about it.
Real.
So yeah,
Follow my Twitch. I don't scream, but follow my Twitch.
just follow my Twitch. I haven't streamed in like a year and a half at this point, but I'm at like getting close to like 250 or something. So that's cool.
Real.
All right. Well, GG's gamer.
You just have fun, y'all.
We will.
Yeah.
All right.
So that
Yeah.
was a wonderful interview from Hermit. He shared a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
That was
Very
I-
wise guy.
yeah.
Not like
I-
in the sarcastic kind of way.
No, no. If anyone here is wise, sarcastic, it's me.
You said it, not me.
Well, and yeah, and there's a reason for that. Because I'd be offended if anyone else said it. That being said,
Yeah. Tomorrow is SAC, the qualifier 1 for season 9. I am so excited for the new season to start. We've been working on it for a long time, as you know, and trying to get it done. And we finally are getting on the boat to start a whole little cruise over the course of the season. And one of our commentators did explode. They're fine, but they did explode, so I'll be on mic tomorrow morning. And that's a little exciting. Just a little.
just a little- I mean, it's a good thing you said the commentator is okay, but I want to know why they explode, but that's a whole can of worms for after stream. So we're just gonna slide that to the side and just keep going.
Yeah, no, they're okay. But I really appreciate those who found it important enough to come out and listen to not just us yap about SAC, but also Hermit and Risu. And there will be some exciting things on the podcast over the course of the season. I'm so excited to watch this grow and change and evolve in ways that we couldn't do last year. And yeah, any final notes, Rays? You can also find me at the Porter Robinson concert tomorrow. Let's go. Sorry. I'm really excited.
I couldn't tell. My final thoughts, SAC is going to be exciting. The podcast is going to be exciting. Doing more interviews, talking to more players. It's going to be great. The teams, the competition. I think it's going to be a good time to watch Splatoon. And I think everyone should be excited for that, because I'm excited for that.
We have the teams. Stop tweeting about where they are. They are here. We got bugs under a rock. We got lemon cider. We got Los Inklings. They're all pulling up. So you can start seeing them here tomorrow. If you're still thinking about signing up, please do it now, because we'll be reaching out with a great deal of questions that I would like to have answered in our doc, which is a lot of work, by tomorrow when we start. So GG's, Rays.
GG's.
And thank you to Elemental for streaming the podcast. You're loved and appreciated. And thank you to our lovely staff who helps put this together. Strings, Tyflo, Time, Sorrow, Jokera have all been putting a lot of work in on that commentary doc. It's already at 18 pages, 19 pages. So that's where we're going to get all our juicy little tidbits, right?
Incredible. And the juicy tidbits will go crazy tomorrow on broadcast.
People send me pictures of their setups. It's weird.
I don't think we can use those really, unless we do like a special segment on the podcast sometime in the future. But just knowing
That would
we
be
have
fun.
those, maybe.
No, it was just one team, to be clear.
Well,
But
see,
I
now we
mean,
need
I
to
can
start getting
start
more.
asking. We can have a most scuffed section of the podcast.
You know, I think that would
That's
be
good
fun
content.
for people. That would be fun for people to send in, but maybe not add to the doc. You know, like if you want to do it, but yeah, no, optional.
I just make a
optional.
PowerPoint, you know?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's release everyone for the night. Thanks for watching. Follow IPL, stay up to date on SAC, support commentators, support the scene. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.